So I'm going to talk today about why you should publish your crappy script. The concept of sorts behind this talk came out of a lot of work I've been doing at Cordile, where we have some sort of skunksworks type stuff that never really sees the light of day, but also doesn't end up in source control as a result of that. So I'm expanding on that a little bit. Like we've learned our lesson, I hope, and are going to take advantage of those things and get them into source control. But I'm going to talk about why you should do the same with the scripts you use for your personal systems and for one-off stuff and all that sort of stuff that we all do. So this talk is about why you should publish your crappy script. Well, the first reason is you'll write better crappy scripts. Knowing that others will be looking at your code, you're going to be encouraged to comment on it better. And the important thing about that is, yes, other people will be able to read it, but so will you when you go back and look at it a year from now. Because otherwise, I promise you, you won't know what you were doing. You're going to write more flexible code. A lot of cases where you might say, I need to make this thing that like adds a line to a file in some standardized format. Well, maybe you'll take the time to also make it delete a line from that file if you need to, which you probably will, and probably will just never get around to doing. I know I've been down that rabbit hole, where I just don't do this other step often enough. But if I'm going to spend the time to do the first thing, why not take the extra time to do the second? And I have found that when I take a script and I'm going to present it for others to use, I'm more likely to take those steps and expand on it, make it a little bit better, and make it do a few more things that it makes sense for it to do. You'll write better code overall. Those awful shortcuts you took, you might turn around and say, this is a really bad idea, and somebody else is going to come along and not realize what kind of landmine this is and step into it. So I'm going to fix it. So other people will improve on your crappy script. If you put it out there, maybe they will, maybe they won't, but right now they definitely won't because they're never going to see it. And if you put it into some kind of versioning system, you put it on GitHub, you put it wherever you're comfortable with, improvements can be tracked. People can ask for things that it doesn't do now, and people can complain about things that it does horribly wrong. Maybe you'll learn something, and maybe you'll make a better script. You stole the code for your crappy script anyway, so why not share it? You probably got most of what you're doing off Stack Exchange or Googling, and you assembled a bunch of pieces together. Maybe you coerced it to hopefully have the same like tab spacing and indentation. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but now you're going to, because you're not going to leave it that way when you show it to other people. And now you can take the time to share it, and other people can take your example that hopefully is a little bit better than the collection of code you built it out of, and they can do something cool with it as well. So, if the original author of the script you got off Stack Exchange had been at this talk, he would have already put it in GitHub anyway, so there you go. Now it's your turn to carry it forward. Now you can show off your crappy script. Maybe you don't want to. There's a good reason to do so. So if you've, one of the things that kept me from sharing some of my code is I wasn't that familiar with GitHub. I knew how to get around, I knew how to do a few things, but I'm not a developer. I'm a sysadmin. I'm making these scripts to make my life easier. But I wanted to expose them to others and share them with others and let them make their lives easier too. But to do that, you kind of got to learn to use the version control system. So by taking the time to say, I'm going to share this, and forcing yourself to at least get a better feeling for that, especially when it comes to those feature requests and making changes later down the road, you're going to learn about those systems, and that's a good marketable skill and just something that's going to be good to have. You can work towards having a repository of less crappy scripts, and eventually having something you actually like to share with other people. It might not be the first one, but you'll get there and you'll have a nice collection of useful code. You'll be able to find your crappy script. I don't know how many little snippets of code I lost moving from one machine to another, or like, I know I have this code somewhere if I could just figure out what to grep for in my home directory. But I can't find it, so I end up starting again from scratch. Well, if it was in a repository, I would know where to go to find it. I would probably have taken the time to comment on it in such a way that I would have something to search for if I had to. and I'm going to be able to reuse that code. Also, if you copy and paste your crappy script over and over again and use it for various little things, you're not getting, new benefits back to the old versions. A simple example is, I had something that would like SCP some files and manipulate some files and stuff like that. The problem is, I realized, I really need these other flags on my SCP so that it works reliably in these scenarios. I need to be able to specify those. So now my old script doesn't work in these situations, but my new one does. If I version control the original script, and even better, if I break it into pieces so that this is my thing that ships files, I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's all about the reuse of these things that we've made. And now you know exactly where to find the latest version and use it for your next project. So you stand on the shoulders of giants who wrote crappy scripts. Now it is your turn to also write crappy scripts. This giant mess of open source code, the whole reason we're here today, it didn't happen by accident. It's not people accidentally posting source code on the internet. People decided to do these things. They decided to take code that maybe they were proud of, but maybe they weren't. And they put it out there for others to comment on and critique and complain about. I think it was yesterday, 26 years ago, that Linus Torvalds posted on a mailing list asking for comments on his code. So that's what I'm asking you to do. Take your code, do the same thing. So get out there and write some crappy scripts.